That's good. That's why when we attend any type of Dharma talks or Dharma gatherings, it's very important in the beginning that we do a short meditation together to clear obstacles, open up our mind, release some frustrations we may have, and to be ready. So it's very important that when we get together for Dharma teachings, we do a meditation together. And the reason we do a meditation together is when we see people together, we feel energized. If you go to a party or if you go to a disco and you see one or two people hanging out there, you leave very fast. If you go to a place and the place is filled and they're dancing, you want to dance. If they're drinking, one or two of us might want to drink. Not all of us, but we're happy for them. But if you go to a place where nobody's doing anything, they're hanging out somewhere in a corner, picking their nose, you wouldn't want to join them, but you wouldn't want to be there either. So therefore, when you're doing meditations like going to an internal disco, that internal disco, what does a disco do? A disco provides fun, entertainment, relaxation. It takes away from our pains and problems. It temporarily relieves us from our distress. You see, we go clubbing, we go to pubs, we go to drink. The reason is because we want happiness. We want happiness. That's the only reason we go there. Why do we want happiness? Because our day is stressful. Our husbands are monsters. Our wives are witches. Our bosses are tyrants. Our friends are not understanding. Traffic was horrible. You go to a restaurant, you meet a nightmare waiter. I've experienced that yesterday. Etc., etc. So you go to a pub to be happy. Why? Because you weren't happy the whole day. You weren't happy the whole week. You're not happy with what you have. You're not happy with what you have is because you have it, you don't know how to deal with it. You have it, you don't know what to do with it. When you don't have it, you want it. When you have it, you don't want it. When you have it again, then you want to change it. So it's this constant type of fighting with ourselves all the time, which is endless all the time. So when we go to a pub, when we watch a movie, when we go out, when we go to socialize with our friends, when we go to have yam chai, when we go to have tea, when we do anything, the reason is because we want to be happy. Some of us, we have nothing to do. We want to make more money. We want to make more money. It's not for the money anymore. It's that we want to be distracted. Why do we want to be distracted? Because we're not happy with what's going on in our lives. So we go out, we go clubbing, we drink. Temporarily offers us release. Some of us go shopping. Some of us look for people to cohabitate with. There's a lot of ways that we want to forget ourselves. I wouldn't be looking at her if I was you. Or we get the stomach rubber out on you. Now, that's why we're unhappy. So we go to a club and we go there. What do we want to do? We want to forget. We want to talk about BS. We want to talk about sports. Who cares who won? We want to have a drink. We want to have another drink. We don't care how much it costs. Do you know why people spend a lot of money on alcohol? Because it temporarily relieves them from their unhappiness that they created themselves. You know why people want to go have yum chai, SS2, or wherever, hang out at a mama stall and talk and gossip about politics and sex and fun and clothes and fashion and people and who they slept with? They want to go on and on. Why? Because they want temporary relief from their unhappiness. So they're willing to pay for it. They're willing to meet up. But you see, those are our minds screaming at a method to find happiness. Screaming. It's clear that our mind wants happiness. But the method is not wrong or right. It just doesn't bring the result. See, we got to stop judging wrong and right. Religion always tells us this is wrong, this is right. It's a little too tight. The kind of religion that I would like to share with people is what Buddha really intended, I think, which is not to make you wrong or right. It's a matter of finding the correct cause for the correct result. To get the correct result, you have to have the correct cause. It's as simple as that. It has nothing to do with wrong and right. That's why I've had many, many people come and confess to me in the past. They have. Many, many people. That they're a gambler. They've hurt people before. They've stolen. They've had affairs. They slept with a lot of people. They feel guilty with their partners. I've had a lot of people. You see, my job is not to tell them that's right or wrong. They know if it's right or wrong. You see, if they know that's right or wrong, the problem is knowing right and wrong, they don't know what to do about it. So they continue not because they want to continue hurting people around them or hurting themselves. They continue because they know no other method at this time. So religion, in this case Buddha Dharma, helps us to not be judgmental. But at the same time, not being judgmental doesn't mean not examining what is right and wrong. Not being judgmental means criticizing oneself, criticizing others, or taking criticism, and it stops there. Someone criticizes you, you should examine, is it true or not? If it's true, do something about it. If it's not true, it's their opinion. Fighting it out doesn't matter. Justifying and explaining yourself doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Why doesn't it matter? Because justifying and explaining never ends. So when we go to a disco, when we go to a pub, when we go watch TV, when we go play sports, when we do anything, it is to distract our minds from our unhappiness and dissatisfaction that we feel. We can be successful in business and we feel still unsatisfied. So we find things to do. We look in the mirror, see what we can do with ourselves. We look around us, see what we can redecorate. We look at our car and we see what we can rebuy. We look at our wife and see what new wives we can get. We look at our husbands and think how to get rid of them. We look at our boyfriends. We look at our girlfriends. We look at everything. We might even get bored of colors and just wear white. We do a lot of things. Yes, a lot. What is that all for? To bring happiness. Bring happiness. So now we're here. We're at a Dharma talk. It's going to be really happy if we know what it's for. When we go to a disco, when we go to a pub, when we go out, when we drive around, when we watch a movie, we want to be happy. Why? Because we want to forget our troubles. We want to be away from our troubles. But actually, it's creating more troubles. It costs more money, takes more time. It ingratiates in ourselves to rehabituate and habituate and solidify our habituation of wasting time and procrastination. When we tell someone off, and we hurt them, and we hurt the people around us, we hurt ourselves. And we give a message to sentient beings. We give a message to everybody. It's all right to be nasty. It's all right to be negative. It's all right. Look, I'm a Buddhist. I'm a great practitioner, and I can be nasty. I have vows. I'm not different than you. You don't have vows. I have vows, but I can do everything you do. So we send a very negative message out to people. Why is it negative? What's the difference between a practitioner and a non-practitioner? What's the difference? It's a very negative message. And that negative message comes back to us. Why? Because we send another message to ourselves, and that message is what? That message is, look, that person didn't react back to me. That person didn't harm me back. That person didn't say anything to me. So it's all right to do this. I'm going to do more. That's a subliminal message we send to ourselves, and it rehabituates and becomes firm, becomes strong. It's very, very dangerous that way. Very, very dangerous. So when we come and do meditation, when we come do chanting or we listen to the Dharma, it's the same as going to the disco. Why? It temporarily takes us away from our problems. And we have our mind focusing on something else. What's the difference? There is no difference on a superficial level. Once you're attending Dharma talk, you're listening, you're doing prayers, you're doing chanting, you're doing meditations, and it's very powerful. Because during the meditation, during the chanting, during the prayer, you don't think about your stress and your problems, your witch wife and your monster husband. You don't think about that. You don't think about your nasty neighbors. You don't think about your tyrant boss. You don't think about any of that. Why? Your mind is thinking about something else. Because we have told our mind we can only think this and this and this. So when I'm thinking this, I can't think that. That's what we've told our minds for now. So what happens is, the difference is, if you sit here in a teaching and you just listen to all of this, it will be no different than sitting in a pub drinking. Why? After the pub, you're back to your life. After the teachings, you're back to your life. So if you sit in Dharma teachings and you don't apply it to your life and you don't apply it to yourself and make a change, it's no different than sitting in a club or a pub. It's no different. Why is it no different? Because afterwards, what's the result? What is the result? So if we think that we're virtuous by going to the temple, we're virtuous by praying, or virtuous by meditating, or virtuous by doing some mantras, we have to tell whether it's virtuous or not by the end result and the end product. If the end product of the teaching, the end product of the meditations that we're transforming and we're changing, then it's different than going to a pub or a disco. Why? Over there, we're just distracting our mind. So if we go on retreats, If we come back from our retreat, we're basically the same as before the retreat. It was just another distraction method that our mind did. I've done that before. I went on retreats. I've seen people on retreats. They didn't go there to be enlightened. They went there to get away from a bad relationship they were in. Well, I met some people like that. And when they go back from their retreat, they go back to the bad relationship and they still continue to fight. So my point is that it's what you do afterwards. You see, if you go to a pub and you sit there and you drink orange juice or whatever and you talk to your friend and you give them some comfort and then you talk to them again, you talk to them again, talk to them again, and you see their mind transforming, then going to the pub is very virtuous. But if you go to the pub and you talk and talk and talk and you guys just bring each other down, each other depressed, or you get nowhere, then it's non-virtuous. Why is it non-virtuous? Because there's no results. Similarly, if you go for yum chai, if you go out in one of these mamak stalls are those 24-hour open coffee shops, and you sit there with a friend and listen to their problems and talk to them, hang out with them, and talk to them and listen to them and talk to them and hang out with them. Day after day, year after year, talk about gossip and fun and politics. You just talk about that all the time. But your mind's not improving from the talk. Their mind is not improving from the talk. Then it's just another wasteful activity. It's not negative or good or bad. It's not judgmental. It brings no results. So we enjoy it. You have to examine why. We enjoy it because it distracts us from something else. We're not enjoying it because it itself is fun. Getting together with another person and just talking about your problems and BSing and wasting time, why is that fun? It is fun, and we've labeled it fun because it takes our mind away from some things that are disturbing us in our lives. So therefore, similarly, in Dharma class, if we attend Dharma class and we leave Dharma class and we're exactly the same, year after year, month after month, day after day, then Dharma class activity is nothing. It doesn't benefit us in any way. Why doesn't it benefit us? Because there's no results. No results whatsoever. And that's very important to know. Very, very important to know.